Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my official walkthrough for one of the greatest and most iconic games ever made, Dark Souls Remastered. Sorry, I genuinely didn't mean to stutter on that. It's just I love Dark Souls, but like the remastered part kind of fucks with me because the remaster's not all that good. Anyway, welcome to Dark Souls, the walkthrough, the experience. I'm gonna do my best throughout the course of this series to kind of take you guys step by step, kind of more aimed at new players. But you know, hey, if you're a Souls veteran, and you've already got all that hair on your chest and you got massive penis strength because you've played and beaten all the games, maybe you'll be entertained anyway. But throughout the course of this series, we're gonna go through the entirety of Dark Souls Remastered, and I'm gonna kind of do my best to take you guys step by step through the various strategies and different scenarios and such. I don't know why I said that all weird, but anyway, this isn't really going to be like a 100% walkthrough, but it's going to be pretty damn close. I'm going to do all the bosses, all of the NPC quest lines, and I'm going to be picking up roughly 95% of the items. There's some that I just don't care about, but yeah, it's not going to be a full item run, but it is going to be all bosses. Also, it's not going to be a zero death run. I'm not really planning on dying a whole lot, but it is Dark Souls, and I'm not like a pro super turbo Mega Man who's put millions, bajillions of hours into the game. So I am going to be dying, so brace yourself for that. If you don't like dying in Dark Souls, then I can't really help you, man. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. We got some stuff to do. We got to make our character, and we got to just get everything rolling here. You can't create any more characters, delete an existing character, and create a new one. All right. I can do that. Let's go ahead and look through some of these guys, I suppose. Count Cocula. He was my most recent guy. He's on New Game Plus right now. Mr. Crumbapool. I don't even remember him, but apparently I logged 36 hours on him. Walkthrough prep. Ooh, I got a whole whopping 18 minutes on him. Summon my ass. I don't think I ever got summoned. Sex Seeker Ron. Whopping 11 minutes of playtime on that guy. Macaulay Culkin. Holy shit, I forgot that I created a like perfectly accurate rendition of Macaulay Culkin. Let's get rid of Sex Seeker Ron, sadly. Alright, so here's our character creator. As you can see here, you can do a whole wide array of whatever the fuck you want. You can kind of decide how fat you want to be, decide how purple you want your skin to look. If you go over here to where it says customize, you are given even more options, but check this out. If you go down to where it says customize again, you are given even more options. None of which I'm going to be doing anything with, really, just because I kind of want to just get the walkthrough going, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the character creator. So we'll just go with that guy. Pretend that he's like a Ghostbuster or something. Name, we'll come up with a cool name, I suppose. I just gotta type this out real fast. I'll name our character. And there we go. Haas Hot Wiener, Dubious Kareem. So your appearance and your build, how fat you are and all that, really has zero effect on gameplay. However, the two things in this character creator that do very much affect gameplay is going to be your class and your gift. I'll explain more about that in a moment. But as you can see, if you look down in the left corner there, we've got a bunch of stats. So it says level 4, and then we've got Vitality, Attunement, Endurance, Strength, Dexterity, Resistance, Intelligence, and Faith. So those are the stats of Dark Souls. Those are going to be your stats. And every time you level up using Souls, you can pretty much put a level up into whichever of those stats that you want. And just to kind of break it down for new people and explain what it all does, Your vitality is your health. Obviously, you know what health is if you've played a video game before. Attunement, that's actually for sort of magic-based builds with miracles and sorceries and stuff. Your attunement essentially determines, to break it down in a basic sort of sense, it determines how many spells you can have equipped at once, basically. Your endurance is your stamina and your equip load. So obviously in Dark Souls, every time you attack, every time you dodge, every time you use your shield, it takes a little bit of stamina. And once your stamina bar runs dry, you're kind of fucked. I mean, not necessarily fucked, but your character becomes prone to getting staggered. You can't do any attacks, and you're kind of sort of... there's just sort of a split second where you're kind of frozen up and your character's out of juice, and you need to wait a couple seconds for that green bar to fill back up. So your endurance gives you more of that, but it also gives you more of equip load so that you can have heavier armor and you can have more stuff equipped at once without subjecting yourself to extremely slow movement and the trademark Dark Souls term fat rolling. More on that later. Anyway, strength and dexterity are essentially combat stats. So strength and dexterity each have different weapons throughout the game that will scale with them. So by leveling up strength, for instance, let's just say this sword in my hand here, the sword that my character's got. Let's say that it's got like an A scaling in strength. Pretty good, right? An A is good for scaling. It's pretty good. So if I were to put points into strength, I would get more damage out of this weapon. But if the weapon also, with the A scaling in strength, let's say it also has a C scaling in dexterity, at that point, if I were to put points into dexterity, I would get a little bit more damage out of the sword, but not nearly as much as I would get if I leveled up strength. And there's a little bit more depth to that once we get to like the soft caps and stuff, but we'll talk about that more later. Anyway, yeah, strength and dexterity are kind of your weapon damage stats. Different weapons require different levels of strength and dexterity to use, and at that point you just basically use it to get damage and stuff. But yeah, resistance is kind of a stupid stat. There's kind of a running joke in the Dark Souls community that resistance is the best stat and it'll like break the game and make your character super overpowered. It doesn't. Don't fall for that. Resistance just kind of determines how resistant your character is to these status ailments, like poison, toxic, curse. So it's not entirely useless, but it's do not put all of your level ups into resistance. That is the Dark Souls 1 equivalent of putting all of your level ups into luck as a joke. But yeah, moving on. Intelligence is all sorcery and magic stuff. I actually really have never done an intelligence build in Dark Souls, so I couldn't tell you all that much about it. But yeah, faith again is all magic and miracles and stuff, so if you're going for a mage or a sorcerer, those are the stats that you want to be looking at and leveling up. Again, I really don't know a whole lot about like magic type stuff in Dark Souls. I think the only like magic thing I've ever done was I did a pyromancer run, but I didn't even finish it. So yeah, I'm kind of a melee type of dude when it comes to Dark Souls. But yeah. Anyway, here's our classes. We've got 10 classes in Dark Souls, as opposed to the like fucking bajillion classes that you could pick from in Demon Souls. But yeah, we got our warrior, fearless warrior, weapon expert, high strength, dexterity. But yeah, this guy's pretty balanced. He's got 13 strength, 13 dexterity, 11 vitality. Everything else is kind of eh, but the warrior is typically my favorite class just because I like the balance between strength and dexterity. At the beginning of the game, it kind of opens you up to use different weapons, and you can kind of pick from a wider variety, which I enjoy. Also, I like the armor. I mean, it doesn't really look cool, but like pragmatic, you know, it's pragmatic. That sentence kind of fucking failed. But yeah, this is the Knight. A lot of people say that the Knight is the easiest class to start, and I kind of disagree purely on the basis that the Knight fat rolls right off the bat, which kind of fucking sucks. So the Knight's cool because he's got heavy armor, he's tanky, he starts off with a cool shield, and I'm pretty sure that's a broadsword. So he starts off with really good equipment. He starts off with lots of vitality, and pretty mediocre stats other than that, but this is probably really good for like a strength build. This and your bandit are going to be your good strength build classes. But yeah, like I said, the problem with the Knight is that he starts off with his equip load kind of over capacity, so he fat rolls. And if you don't want to fat roll, you have to take the armor off, which is kind of fucking lame. Anyway, here's our Wanderer. This is actually my buddy's favorite class. High dexterity, you start off with a scimitar and a, don't know what kind of shield that is, but this is kind of like your ninja-y kind of a dude. This and your thief are kind of like your two main dexterity classes, unless you decide to go with a warrior and kind of put points into that. I should really mention that, like, depending on what class you pick, you really shouldn't feel like you're signing your life away. Like, you can always adjust your build as you go. Although I should mention, there is no way to respec in Dark Souls 1, at least not that I know of. If there's a way to respec in this game, somebody please tell me, because, like, I've been playing this shit for years, and I have no idea. Because in every other Souls game, you can respec, but I believe Dark Souls 1 does not allow you to. So the Deprived is the, yeah, it's supposed to, yeah, unclothed enigma, only armed with club and old plank shield. So honestly, going with Deprived is not nearly as hard as you might think. It makes the beginning of the game a little bit harder, but what really negates the difficulty of being Deprived, in my opinion, is the fact that the club you start off with does like an absurd amount of damage. But alright. Cleric on a pilgrimage, wields a mace and casts healing miracles. So this would be kind of a good like spell sword type of build. Maybe this and like the sorcerer, but I don't know. I feel like the sorcerer is a bit more of just dedicated magic. Then you got your pyromancer. What's cool about the pyromancer is that you get a lot of customization with this guy, because he has fairly good stats starting off, like nothing super high. But if you notice, he's a level 1, which means that right off the get-go, you can customize the shit out of the pyromancer and kind of do whatever the hell you want with him, because your first bunch of level ups are going to be free and easy. So pyromancer is a good choice, I think, just based off of that. He also does start off with some fire magic, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Sorcerer, yeah, well, pretty much talked about all this shit. Hunter, I think Hunter is probably the lamest class in the game. Bow-wielding Hunter, okay at close range, but weak with magic. I just don't really think that doing like an archery build is super applicable in this game. Like, I don't know, maybe in Dark Souls 1 or 2, definitely not in Dark Souls 3. I think the enemies are way too aggressive in Dark Souls 3 for that to be possible, but that's your Hunter. He's kind of your, the cool thing about him is he's like pretty high dexterity, but other than that, kind of a lame class. There's the Bandit. He starts off with a cool spider shield and a big old fucking axe. And yeah, I actually do like the Hunter. But yeah, for the sake of the walkthrough, I think I'm gonna go with Warrior, just because I like the balance. And for gifts, I think it's really important that you go with the Master Key. If you're a first-time player, the Master Key is insanely helpful. It really is. I'm just, like, honestly, just go with whatever the fuck you want. I would not recommend that you go with the Tiny Beings Ring, because it's supposed to give you a small increase to your health, but it is not even a noticeable increase in the fucking slightest. So, alright. We got all our shit going. I should be able to... oh yeah, I didn't even select the physique. Let's go with the big old fat guy. Haas Hot Wiener's gotta be a big dude. There we go. Jump into the game.
In the age of ancient world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
Probably the most depressing line ever spoken in a video game.
This is your fate.
Alright, so welcome to the Northern Undead Asylum. Turns out we're not so fucked after all. That narrator lied to us. Damn, I'm fucking stuttering like a monkey over here. Anyway, start off the game in this cell, loot this key off this dead guy, and out we go. Now, as we begin our ascent into this hallway, you're gonna notice... Yeah, I bit my fucking tongue. Okay, that time I stuttered, but I have an excuse. Okay, I bit my tongue. It hurt. Okay? Anyway, in this hallway you're going to notice these messages, and these are actually tutorial messages that the developers put into the game. These aren't player messages, although we are going to see a lot of player messages like this too. But if you're a new player, I definitely recommend that you stop and you look at these messages and you read them so that you know what the controls are. Because otherwise, Dark Souls kind of leaves you in the dark when it comes to that shit. No pun intended. Dark Souls does not do the best job of explaining how the controls work and explaining how certain mechanics work. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you out on your journey through the cruel and merciless treachery of Dark Souls. Also, the only reason I'm killing these enemies is for the free souls, because I'm kind of a douche. They won't attack you. Even if you attack them, they just kind of look at you. Also, I'm going to backtrack real quick here, because there's something I want to show you that I forgot to show you. Yeah, if we take a look through here, we can see the big guy clomping around over there. He's actually a boss that we get to fight a little bit later. But yeah, if you look through those bars, you can check him out. He's just kind of doing his thing. Probably taking really ginormous, disgusting shits in there. Kind of looks like something that monster would do. Alright, tutorial area, pretty straightforward, just kind of follow the beaten path, come to the bonfire, light this sumbitch up, and have a seat. Alright, that door over on our right is going to be locked for now. So right now we're just going to go through these big old double doors. And right as soon as you step foot into this area, yeah, take a look at these blood stains. Yeah, so pretty much we're just going to book it. Book it onto the left here, because there's the big guy. And we're going to do this. And we're safe. Fuck you, idiot. Haha. Alright. So, I always thought that was, like, really cool. How fucking, like, especially for new players, you're just, like, still learning the controls, figuring out what the game's all about. Not fucking not 2 minutes into the game, this guy just jumps in on your shit. And you're like, wait, what? Fucking Dark Souls, man. Alright. More bonfire. Sit and rest. And on we go. Alright, get your shield. So, yep, right up ahead, there's going to be an archer in the hallway. He's going to very shittily and inaccurately shoot arrows at us. So we're just going to kind of run over here. Pick this up. And now we have our shield. So let's equip the shield. And chase this son of a bitch down. Come here. So what's nice about the heater shield is it absorbs 100% physical. And I'm actually going to show you guys real quick. You always want to look at your stats when it comes to the shields. So on the right there, where it says weapon type shield, and then it says damage reduction percentage. So physical 100%, magic 30, fire 70, lightning 50, and the overall stability is 55. So stability is also really important when it comes to shields, because it basically determines how much stamina your shield uses when you block attacks. So the higher your stability, the better. Definitely. But yeah, also, yeah, any shield that blocks 100% physical, just always keep an eye out for that. Just because if you're wondering why you're blocking attacks but still taking damage, that is because your shield does not block 100% physical. Alright, so there's our long sword. Go ahead and put that on our right arm. Yeah, pretty much regular attack, strong attack. You can go ahead and press triangle to two-handed if you want. You get kind of a move set that looks like Sekiro. And yeah, that's pretty much the basics. There's a little bit more to it than that, but yeah. Also, usually this enemy is at the top of the stairs. I don't really know what he was doing camping out around the corner, but what do I know, man? traverse the fog, and there's no boss on the other side. Not yet. If we go over here, there's actually nothing, but later we can come back to the Undead Asylum, and we can pick up that item once we have a certain key. But yeah, for now, let's go have a word with our hero. Before we do that, as soon as you go up these stairs, take note of that boulder. And then go right about here, and then just walk off the side. Boom! Now we have a hole in the wall. We got a jerk up here that we need to fucking kill. Oh well, I thought I would try parrying him. I'll try again. There we go. So to parry in Dark Souls, basically, you just need to tap the left trigger pretty much the exact moment the enemy attack would hit you. So I'm not very good at parrying, but the general trick that I try to use is to just stare at the enemy's weapon and just kind of try to use your reflexes at that point. But yeah. So this is where we started off. Those were the double doors where we, the demon popped down and scared us. And this was the one that was locked. Now we have unlocked it, and we have a nice little shortcut. You're going to see a lot of that in Dark Souls. Shortcuts and interconnected environments are a very massive part of the game. But alright, here we have our nice friendly NPC named Oscar.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Go ahead and say yes. I actually have no idea what happens if you say no, but I just kind of always say yes because I'm a good guy.
I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Estus flask, there we go. Bottled fire, baby.
Oh, and this.
And the key to that door where that guy fucking threw a rock at us.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Alrighty then. Oscar, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar is a good dude. He's the one who let us out of our cell and got us started on this journey. You gotta love Oscar. Parry? Fuck you, dummy. God damn. Alright. Now, for the record, these enemies are insanely easy to parry, so you're gonna see me parrying less and less throughout the game as the enemies start to catch on to my shenanigans. Anyway, there's a couple enemies around this corner. One of them has a bow, so generally I like to just sort of lure these guys out away from the bow guy. He's not really that big of a threat because these enemies are a joke anyway, but you can never be too careful in Dark Souls. That's probably the best advice I could give new players anyway. You can never be too careful. Always play with a sense of caution. But yeah, so going through this fog gate here, this is actually the first boss of the game. But before we dive into that, I just kind of like to go into this room and kill this guy. I don't know why. I really don't know why. There's no point, but yeah, basically, when you come back to the asylum, because spoiler alert, I already mentioned this, but you can make a return trip and you can come back here later in the game, at which point things are a lot different, and there's new enemies, and there's a new boss, and things are just a little bit harder. But when you come back here, you should have a certain key in your inventory at that point that lets you open this door, and then you can follow that hallway back down to where we saw that ruined staircase. And the reason I mention that is because the item that you get is very, very, very good. Alright, so before we go into this boss fight pretty much starts off immediately with a drop attack. So when we go through the fog gate, we're going to be kind of on this elevated platform way above the boss, kind of like the same way he dropped down on us. So it's kind of ironic. Now we're dropping down on him. So what you want to do is switch to two hands to get a little bit of extra damage, because when you two-hand, you do, in fact, do more damage. And that is true with drop attacks as well. So you actually want to be kind of quick. If you stand on the platform for too long, the boss will actually destroy it, and you'll just sort of fall down, and it's really goofy. So you want to just kind of walk in, look down, see the boss, plunging attack, and that's how you want to start things off. So without any further ado, let's do it. Alright, how's it going, buddy? Dun, 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 dun. Also, my best advice to do drop attacks properly is to just spam the attack button on your way down. Because I've seen a lot of people complain that drop attacks don't work for them, and it's never not worked for me, and literally I just sort of spam the button. But for this guy, he is the first boss of the game, so obviously he is the easiest. Generally, I kind of like the two-hand just to get more damage out. Although it is kind of nice to use your shield during this fight, because you can block most of his attacks. But anyway, the key to this fight is really to just keep your eye on him and try to get behind him into his big butt nutsack thing. And then just kind of do this. And when he tilts towards you and he raises his hammer, just try to roll away from it or block it. Overall, it's a very easy fight. If you're new to Dark Souls, you'll probably die to him at least once. But don't feel bad if you do. Because, yeah, it's Dark Souls. It's supposed to kick your ass. Anyway, now we have the big Pilgrim's Key and a Humanity. I should explain Humanity real fast. Good God, this is going to take a while. So, right now we're hollow, obviously. So, Humanity, you use it to, you know, it's an item, but you use it at bonfires to reverse your hollowing and restore your humanity. So you go from looking like a beef jerky monster like me here, you go from looking like this to looking like an actual human slash whatever you made your character look like. So the other benefits to being human is that you can summon other players, and you can also summon NPCs for certain boss fights. And you can also get invaded, which kind of sucks. That's not exactly a pro, but I mean, if you like PvP, it's definitely a pro, but there's a bunch of shit. Humanity also kind of boosts your item discovery. The more humanity you have, the more likely you are to find loot from enemies and shit. There's a lot of stuff regarding humanity that I could explain. But yeah, for now we'll just leave it. Good job, go straight ahead. So, to leave the asylum, all we need to do is pretty much do exactly what the game just said. Walk over to that cliff. But if we go over here, we get a soul of a lost undead. So those are actually consumable souls, and you can just use those right out of your inventory, and they add to your soul counts. Obviously, keep in mind that if you die, you lose all your souls, and you only have one chance to get them back. I'm sure you all know that. Anyway, this is where you meet Snuggly the Crow. He's not here yet. You need to come back and do the return trip to the asylum to interact with him. But for those of you who don't know, Snuggly the Crow is kind of this weird recurring NPC in Dark Souls games. And he acts as this very, very gimmicky merchant. Not really a merchant, but like you can trade stuff with him. Like, and the way that you do it is really bizarre, at least in Dark Souls 1. So like you drop an item like in the nest, and the bird will like talk to you. The bird is fucking weird. At least I think it's a bird, but the bird is like just saying all sorts of wacky shit. So you drop your item in the nest, and then you quit out of the game, and then you reload the game, and then you have a new item, and that's how it works. It's fucking weird. But anyway, yeah, more on that later when we come back to the asylum. Much later down the line.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. to leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
In Lordran, level up and kindle at bonfires. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to good old Firelink Shrine. This is kind of your main hub area of the game. Those of you who played Dark Souls 3 will remember a very different Firelink Shrine. This Firelink Shrine was also in Dark Souls 3, but it sure as fuck did not look anything like this. Alright. Also, that message would not go away. It was kind of bothering me. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be the end of episode 1 of the walkthrough. I really didn't get much done in this walkthrough because I kept pulling over to explain mechanics and explain how the game works, because I'm really, like, trying to make this walkthrough, like, super accessible and make it helpful for people who are new to the games. But anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 1. I will be right back for episode 2. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we are going to explore Firelink Shrine and kind of figure out what's next on the agenda from there.